Hey everybody, it's Congressman Jamie Raskin. You guys know I'm the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee. I just got back from a session where our Republican colleagues are now trying to dismantle the power of the courts. The independent judiciary, of course, is a major bulwark against everything that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are trying to do in demolishing federal agencies and departments, freezing the spending of federal funds on appropriated purposes, and just generally violating, trampling the Constitution and the rights of the people, including in the birthright citizenship matter, where they just want to nullify the first sentence of the 14th Amendment. Anyway, they came up with a whole bunch of bills meant to just sweep the judiciary out of the way. One of them is called the No Rogue Rulings Act, which would say that federal constitutional injunctions by a United States District Court cannot apply nationally. And they had a very amusing chart that they put up showing that the number of federal injunctions imposed against the Trump administration, even in just the first 6 weeks, is dramatically higher than any prior administration, whether we're talking Biden or Reagan or Bush or Obama or what have you. There have already been 46 temporary restraining orders or preliminary injunctions issued by federal courts. And so they were putting the chart up to show how unfairly Donald Trump is being treated. He's such a victim of this runaway imperial judiciary. Well, in fact, it proves just the opposite, that he's engaged in terribly lawless and irresponsible violations of people's rights. And whether that's trying to nullify the citizenship of millions of people by deleting the birthright citizenship clause, or dismantling federally created, congressionally created agencies and departments like NOAA and the National Weather Service, or the Food and Drug Administration, or the Department of Education, or the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. All of these were created by Congress through an exercise of our lawmaking power. If anybody is going to destroy the Food and Drug Administration, or the State Department, or the Department of Education, it will be the Congress of the United States. And why don't they just bring it to Congress if they want to tear down the federal agencies and departments? Because they know they can never get it passed. You can never get a majority of people in the House and the Senate to vote to dismantle the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They can never get that through the people's representatives. They don't want to take responsibility for voting for it, so they've created a fourth branch of government, Elon Musk nominally reporting in his Doge apparatus to Donald Trump, and they're just going ahead and doing it. Well, luckily, the courts are striking it down. But now they want to say that the injunctions that are entered by courts in these cases can only apply in that court. It would be as if the law had been that in Brown versus Board of Education, the ruling to desegregate the schools applied only to Linda Brown herself and the handful of other plaintiffs who came with her, rather than applying across the country. And that, of course, is not the rule that they wanted anyway when Biden was president. You remember a reactionary rogue judge they've got down in Texas named Judge Kaczmarek. Not only did his injunctions against birth control and other, wild, culture war rulings apply nationally, but they were forum shopping to get into his court. And that's a separate problem, being able to shop to get into a particular court. But in any event, he was reversed in the morning after pill case by the Supreme Court. The point is that a federal constitutional ruling by a district court should apply across the land, and then it can proceed to be appealed all the way up. And we shouldn't completely rewrite the federal rules of civil procedure and appellate procedure in order to suit Donald Trump, because he doesn't like the fact that he's losing every day in court. That's my final message for you. We are winning in court on all of these issues in terms of the private data of people, the breach of the Treasury Department and IRS computer systems, securing our private data, blockading the mass firing of probationary employees. They're on probation not because they're in trouble, they're on probation because they got promoted, like my guest to the joint session last night, Dr. Lauren McGee from NIH, who's this brilliant scientist and juvenile cancer researcher who got sacked 1 week before her probationary period was going to be up and she was going to become a permanent employee. But on that Valentine's Day massacre, they got rid of everybody who was in the probationary status, which is completely whimsical, irrational, and arbitrary, and it's unlawful. So anyway, we're winning in these cases, not in her case, unfortunately, yet, but we're winning on a lot of these cases, and we've got to make sure that we defend the integrity of the judiciary